So today we will discuss about the UGC NET syllabus, and in particular we will be discussing about the paper 1, which is an essential part of the exam. So when you appear for the exam, you have to appear for paper 1, you have to give the paper 1 and paper 2. Both the papers are to be appeared combinedly. Both have separate syllabus. Paper 1 is common for all UGC aspirants, all NET aspirants, and paper 1 is your particular subject, for example law. So the students who want to appear for NET, we are discussing the syllabus for paper 1 for them. So it comprises of 10 units. Those 10 units I'll be discussing with you in very brief. In the coming videos we will discuss them in detail. Fine. So we'll be discussing your unit. So I'll be discussing about the unit 1 now. This is your teaching aptitude. So तो नेट एग्जाम होता है आपको एक असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर बनाने के लिए. तो जितनी भी क्वालिटीज एक अच्छे टीचर में होनी चाहिए, वो सारी क्वालिटीज आपने अपने अंदर इनकलकेट करी हैं या नहीं करी हैं, उस एग्जाम को वो सारी चीजें आपको यहाँ पे जज होती हैं इस एग्जाम के थ्रू. तो हम यहाँ पर यूनिट 1 जो है हमारी वो है टीचिंग एप्टीट्यूड. इसमें टीचिंग से रिलेटेड सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स, आप कैसे एक स्टूडेंट को डील करते हो, कैसे आप अपने स्टूडेंट का बेस्ट बाहर लेके आते हो, वो सारी चीजें, वो सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स, वो सारी टैक्टिक्स आपकी इस यूनिट में कवर होती हैं. अर्लियर वे लोग क्या करते थे, 50 क्वेश्चन इस पेपर 1 में आते हैं. तो आउट ऑफ दैट फ्रॉम ईच यूनिट they used to ask 5 questions earlier. Now they are not following a particular pattern. They ask 2-3 questions from somewhere, they ask 7-8 questions from somewhere, and if you observe the previous year question papers, now what they have started, they have started giving you mixed questions. So that thing I'll be discussing here. Today I will be discussing the syllabus. So these are the, as are being reflected on your screen, these are the particular chapters that you will be dealing in this unit, teaching aptitude. So what are the levels of teaching, like memory, understanding and reflective level, and similarly the learner's characteristics, factors affecting teaching related to. So what are the factors that affect teaching? So this is very important thing, because it's very tough for a learner to, for some learners to grasp things. Some are very sharp, some take time to understand the things. So for that purpose, it is the teacher, it is the responsibility of the teacher that he should bring the best out of the student, right? So next is your methods of teaching. So there are certain methods of teaching. So that is a teacher-centered method, learner-centered method, and what's the difference between teacher-centered method and the learner-centered method? Subsequent to that, now we are living in an ICT era. So we do online learning, we do offline learning. Offline learning is traditional, but now since the advent of ICT, that is information and communication technology, we have also switched to online learning mode. So the government has provided with certain platforms, like if we go for this Swam Prabha, MOOCs. So these are certain platforms that have been provided to you by the government. Subsequently, there are certain teaching support systems. You should be aware of teaching support systems for your exam. You should know them so that you can teach your students better. Further, what are the evaluation systems there, and choice-based credit system. So choice-based credit system is something new. Choice-based credit system is something new that we have incorporated recently. Okay. Then comes the research aptitude. So in that, as the name suggests, it's research aptitude. So herein you will be tested about your understanding of research, the positivism, post-positivism approach towards research. What are the methods of research? Experimental method, descriptive, historical, qualitative, quantitative methods. And what are the particular steps for conducting a research? Then thesis is a very important aspect in higher education. Article writing is also an aspect. So you should be well aware of such things. Like you should be aware of plagiarism. So these are the very essential aspects that a researcher should be aware of. A teacher should be aware of, so that these qualities can be inculcated in a student. Also, very important, the research ethics. Ethics is a very important part of life. And it is very important when you are doing research that you should know what are the research ethics. When we will discuss these topics in detail, we will deal about research ethics and all other topics in quite detail. Next comes your comprehension. So comprehension, just when we read the word comprehension, or when we just have when we have an understanding of comprehension, we have in mind that we will be given a passage and we have to find out the answer to the questions subsequent to that. But what exactly comprehension is? Comprehension is understanding something, right? So in that, when your understanding skills are tested through the passage, that whether you can grasp what is there in the writing, in the piece of writing. So a passage is provided to you along with 5 questions. You have to answer the questions based on the passage that is part of the paper 1. Next is your mathematical reasoning and aptitude. So in this unit, you will be giving your test about your reasoning skills. This is quite mathematics. This is plain mathematics. Along with there are reasoning is also there. So you will be test about numbers. You will be given some certain questions which will be dealing with number series, letter series, codes and relationships. Along with that, you will be given questions about mathematics, pure mathematics questions, but a elementary level question. It's not like you will be dealing with something like cat level questions. It's not like that. You will be dealing elementary level questions, so that your mathematical aptitude can be tested. So here is the syllabus. You can go through that. In the mathematical aptitude, you will be dealing with these things. Next unit is your logical reasoning. This is a very important chapter. People are quite afraid of it because there are certain terms that students can't understand. However, we are here to help you. We'll be helping you regarding understanding of these things. So if you go by the syllabus, these are structure of arguments. This is a particular part of this unit, and there will be Venn diagram. And if we go by this thing, Indian logic, this is something unique to this exam. We are tested about the Indian logic. So Indian logic, then we'll be dealing with pramanas, pratyaksh, we call it perception, anuman, inference as we call it, upman, comparison, shabd, verbal testimony, arthpati, implication, anulabdhi, non-apprehension. Structure and kinds of anuman we will be dealing in this unit. So it will be inference, vyapti, invariable relation, hetvabhas, fallacies of inference. Subsequent to that, our next unit is data interpretation. So in this unit, what they are doing, they are giving you a set of 5 questions based on a particular data. Out of that, you have to using your calculation skills, you have to answer them out of the options that are given to you by calculating. So this is not very hard, but you need to do good amount of practice so that you can save time, and you should be aware of what are the formulas or whatever is to be required for solving such questions. Next unit is information and communication technology. So we have moved towards an ICT era. Now we are dealing with AI. AI is solving our purposes. We are using AI to deliver better. So for a teacher, he should be aware of information and communication technology. That's why UGC NET have this unit in its syllabus. So this is very basic ICT, not very deep, like you need not to be a software engineer to understand such things. A very basic level of ICT understanding is required for this unit, like email, audio, video conferencing, ICT and governance, like these things. So this is not very tough, but you need to be well prepared with this, given the level of competition that is present. Next is your people development and environment. Herein, you will be tested about the aspects of environment. So you will be tested about your understanding of the Millennium Development Goals, then the Sustainable Development Goals that are to be tested in the exam. Then what are the issues at the global level, at the local level. So you need to have a good understanding of environment, a really good understanding given the level of the exam that the questions that are asked. So you need to be aware of such things very well. So here is your syllabus, like types of pollution, the climate change, like you will be aware of the conferences that are being held every year, COP27, COP28, COP29, so like this. So you should be well aware of these things. So this is particularly about the syllabus of this unit. Last is your higher education. So in higher education, again an important chapter. You will have to memorize certain things regarding higher education system. So even from the ancient India, you will have to study about those things. And what are the Oriental? Oriental means that Oriental is something wherein you will have to be aware of the things wherein past units were, wherein the past, wherein the wherein the wherein the past the education system was there. You will have to be aware of the Oriental. In the Oriental segment, you will have to be aware of the how teaching was done, how learning was done in the past, and conventional system you will have to be aware of, and the non-conventional learning. Further, you will have to be aware of the professional, technical and skill-based education. Given the focus of the present government from past few years, you would have aware of skill mission and all that. So now they are also asking about the skill-based education. Also, value education is a part of your syllabus. Value education, because it's very essential for a learner to have values, and teacher is responsible to inculcate those values in the student. Also, you need also be aware of policies, governance and administration, right? So this is your syllabus for paper 1 UGC. You will have to prepare this nicely so that you can score well. The score of paper 1 is very important, so that you can score good and you can clear NET, and by working hard you can clear JRF as well. Thank you.